What's going on, everyone? Well, the Dallas Cowboys won another game. A 20-point win over the Chicago Bears. 49-29 was your final score. As far as our record, we're 6-2 going into the bye week. Hopefully well rested. As far as our other NFC East divisional opponents, Philadelphia is still undefeated at 7-0, but them beating the Steelers was to be expected, especially since the Steelers is not the same team of years past. Same with the rookie quarterback. He's still a good ways away from being anywhere good in the future. So there you go. And then, however, the Giants lost to Seattle 27-13. They're 6-2 now. And since we beat them in week 3, we're now in second place after the Eagles. Then the Washington Commanders just barely won over the Colts 17-16. The Colts could have easily won that game if their running back and quarterback didn't fumble in the red zone. And even if they didn't get touchdowns out of those drives, they could have easily had field goals. And we're talking like a 23-16 type of game. The Colts could have easily won. So there you go. As far as the offense is concerned, I think for the most part they did a good job, with the exception of that ill-advised pass that Dak threw that was intercepted by Jackson, I think was his name, for the Chicago Bears defensive back. So, and they were able to get a field goal out of that. We were able to gash him in the run game. Dak had his decent performance. He was able to hit Gallup on several good throws. Same with CeeDee Lamb. He definitely, aired it out a little more. Killamore kind of opened it up a bit in the passing game. And as good as the game that Killamore called, I still don't fully trust him because some of his play calling was questionable at times, especially when on that second quarter where there's 40 seconds left, we only have one timeout. If anything, Killamore, you should have called more of a running play, or if you got to call pass, get a short yardage type of pass where it's like a slant, or your receiver runs a curl route or something, and maybe he gets out of bounds. Then you can start pounding them with the run. That's what I would have done, but you obviously don't think like that. And also, even when we did have the game wrapped up and we had like a few minutes left in the fourth quarter, if you're going to pass Killamore, do that on second fucking down. Never do it on third down. The defense, especially Chicago, is going to obviously know that's going to be the case. And guess what? They sacked Dak on that play. That was their only sack of the game because the O-line, for the most part, was actually doing a pretty good job. Neutralized, Chicago's defense because they're not exactly great at stopping the run. They traded away their best pass rusher in Quinn, and even then, he wasn't even that good anymore. He only had one sack. And speaking of the defense, despite that, fumble recovery where Micah ran it down, for a touchdown, defense got gashed in the worst possible way. I know Chicago is pretty good on running the ball, but 200 plus yards, I think it was like 240. Maybe if it's not that, it's only a little bit less than that. That's just atrocious. And it's even with our new acquisition in Jonathan Hankins. He was able to come in with some plays where he had some good stops. I understand he's not a two-down player, but you need to play him a little bit more often if they're gashing you that badly in the run. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the D-line or the linebackers. It could be both. It could be like the slow reads by LVE, even though he had maybe an okay game. He was the one that forced the fumble on that Bears wide receiver where Micah picked it up and ran it for the score. But still, what the fuck, Quinn? How the hell can you allow Chicago to run this badly on you? You should have been doing a better job of containing that. I don't know if it's the D-line not being disciplined in their gaps, because they were making this a pretty fucking close game, and they did. They made it like 23-28 at one point. But thankfully our offense was able to respond back, and we actually got some good passing plays here and there, got some good runs. Pollard got his touchdown. He got that 50-plus yard touchdown run, which I believe sealed the game for good. But Chicago they came to play, and a credit to them and Justin Fields, who actually had a pretty decent game, even passing-wise, because he wasn't that great. He had like 5 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. So Chicago, props to you. You definitely came to play hard. You're just not quite there yet, especially with your defense. But that's your quarterback of the future, I'd say. because he was able to run on us pretty well, and their wide receiver even got some good runs on them. So Quinn, you have to do something about this, dude. You have to at least see who the weak link on this defense is, and just take his ass out of here. Just cut his ass or trade his ass. I don't care who it is, but you got to figure this shit out. Otherwise, good teams are they're gonna come onto this shit, and they're gonna definitely try to expose that weakness. But back on the subject, Justin Fields, he definitely is the quarterback for them. 3 touchdown passes from him, only like 150-something yards, but he didn't turn the ball over. He did get sacked several times when our defense was finally getting the pressure and finally taking him down. And while a credit to Quinn, who managed to, only hold the Bears to like 12 total points in the second half. So that's maybe one of the good things about the defense. But the run defense needs to be addressed no matter what. It needs to be something needs to be fixed on this defense. Don't know if it's too much hesitation, not being aggressive enough. And for crying out loud, Quinn, give fucking Jabril Cox a fucking chance, okay? I don't know why you're so obsessed with starting Barr, who ended up somehow getting injured and didn't return from the game. Give Jabril Cox a fucking chance to start. I mean, he has to be healthy enough to even play. So, what the fuck? Give him a chance or trade for a linebacker. Also, looking back, to be fair, I felt like the refs really missed on some holding calls on the Chicago's O-line, because I felt like they really got away with some calls. Thankfully, they were called in the second half, but I saw they were getting away with holding calls on Micah, even on Fowler, maybe on D-Law. So yeah, I felt like the refs could have called a better game. And also, the one call that definitely bothered me was the Chauncey personal foul call on Fields when he hit his helmet. Just barely tapped it. I mean, it wiped up a potential interception. Like the refs weren't exactly on point at times. Just wanted to also give my thoughts on that. So there you go. So do something about this. So any way you slice it, for our offense, the good, the positive, Pollard probably had his best game. He had 3 touchdown runs, had over 131 yards rushing. I don't know what to say, but you know what? I think Pollard should honestly get the nod to start for a bit and have Ezekiel Elliott come in as the thumper, where he can really wear out defenses, and we'd have a really great 1-2 punch with Pollard and Zeke. I'd roll with that. Our line's capable of mauling people and getting some really good runs on the opposing defenses. I say, why not? Fucking go for it. Overall, I'm very happy that we won the game, but this run defense, it needs to be addressed. I don't care how many yards or how many points we're up by. That's no excuse. A poor ability to stuff the run and make key stops when it matters. Because like I said before, good offenses are going to find a way to expose this and use it to their advantage. You need to contain the run. Find a way, Quinn. If you need to get another player, so be it. Improve this defense, regardless of who you have on the roster. That's what I would do. Okay, I think that's going to do it for me. Feel free to like, comment, share. Feel free to offer your opinions, and we'll go from there. So, see you later, folks. Bye-bye.